Welcome, brothers! Hello, everyone. Welcome for Happy 4th of July, everyone. And welcome, Xbox fans. Are you ready to dive for 4th of July and for Super Earth, for democracy? That's right, folks. Xbox is coming. Oh, that's right, guys. Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I couldn't help it. I'm just like, that's like the. I mean, what else can we do to start off a 4th of July stream, huh? Like, there was no better way to start that off. Anyways, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Oh my gosh, we have a ton of things to talk about. We have Etsy changing its identity. Google has some serious AI tools. Hightail has been canceled, and yet there's still a hope. Microsoft is adding Steam. We have the Trump phone. We got Xbox game cancellations. Oh my gosh, we have too much stuff going on. All right, so yeah. So for today, normally we'd have a sponsor here, but since we haven't been sponsored yet, I think what we're gonna just do is, who do you think we should shout out today? I think we should go just shout out. I think we should just shout out the was it the VTuber Summer Slam. Yeah, VTuber Summer Slam going on from June 26th uh through 30th. Technically it's ended, but everyone is working on bringing um VTubers from far and wide come out in support of Gamers Outreach and their mission to bring video games in a hospital for kids everywhere. So if you can help contribute, it would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, what should we talk about first? We have. It's not like we have a lack of things to talk about. Um, tell you what. Do you want to start off with the top tens? Anyway, yes. Anyways, actually, let's start off with the games we played this last couple of weeks. The games we played this week were Mario Kart World and Minecraft. I unfortunately played very little because it's been so chaotic. Um, but I have played Mario Kart World, and man, I think we should just get into the topic for it. There was an update for changing how online updates work for Mario Kart World. Not necessarily for the better. A lot of people are complaining about the fact that they would use a random to, of course, do this traditional 3-lap races. But unfortunately, Nintendo seems to have said, no, you must play by our rules, and very much reduced that option. Because now it works as the random will pick one of the 3 that was already options there. If the option is a intermission track, which most of them almost always are, then the one of the 3 will be intermission tracks. Which sucks. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, not really happy with that. Another thing, a fan came up though. I will say one thing I have not liked about Mario Kart World is I have really not liked that there is a really bad way of just finding stuff. I actually had this problem in Sonic X Shadow Generations where it was so hard to find all the nuts and bolts in that game. And unfortunately, Mario Kart World has seemed to do the same. Um, where it is really kind of hard to just have a ongoing list of the stuff you've done. So a fan went and made their own tracker app in the App Store called the Mario Kart World Travel Guide. And it has a full list of all the P-switches, the medallions, the question mark panels, and Yoshi's Diners, as well as the courses that you can then mark off on the list yourself, which is awesome. This app has immediately bumped up my score of Mario Kart World because it gave us a proper map. But the fact that a fan had to go and fix the game with his own independent app, not a good fan. I'm not happy, Nintendo. Especially since this was the first game in which we were paying $80 for it. How's your experience with Mario Kart World been? I agree. I just think they put so much into the intermissions that them pretty much forcing you into intermissions for everything sucks. They needed to split they needed to stop the intermissions from being in the Grand Prix mode. They needed intermissions to be part of a knockout tour and then Grand Prix to be the 3 laps. But I will say though, the Grand Prix leading up to um Rain Rainbow Road is so fantastic. Definitely a highlight. So you were playing Minecraft. How has it been? Oh yeah, that's right. Vibrant. That was right. The vibrant visuals just came out recently. Um, how is it? I've been kind of nervous and excited for the vibrant visuals update. Yeah. Yeah. That's super cool. Hold on. Can you talk for me? Sorry. I think my audio didn't capture you. It wasn't capturing you. Sorry, man.
Oh, it's okay.
There we go. Okay, now you're being captured. Sorry about that. Anyways, he was talking about vibrant visuals and how amazing it is, even though it is a little bit choppy.
Yeah.
Uh, anyways, with those two things out of the way, hold on. bold that to make sure we covered it. Um, do we want to go into Switch stuff, a bunch of Switch stuff, or do we want to go into the top tens?
Uh, we can talk about some more Switch stuff since you've already brought up a Switch game
Yeah, sounds
if
good.
you want.
So, starting with Switch stuff, $1.4 million worth of Switch 2s have been stolen.
Uh-oh.
Indeed. Hold on. Thousands of Nintendo Switch 2 consoles stolen in a $1.4 million cargo heist. This truck was evidently going from Nintendo of America to a GameStop in Texas. Hold on. Grapevine, Texas. While completing an inspection of a truck, he in Bennett, Colorado, at a what's the name at a truck stop in Bennett, Colorado. He noticed that there was some damage or something going on with the truck, and he noticed that the consoles were missing. Because the
Mm.
console came out just weeks ago, the theft is a big hit to the gaming community. The updated version of Nintendo's beloved Switch console has been in high demand at big box stores. Now, nearly 3,000 of them stolen. Fans and businesses are ripe to be worried about it, that it will affect supply. Discussion question. Well,
Wait, what?
did you, my discussion question is, were gamers ever going to get
Uh,
those Switches anyways with the time that GameStop was just stapling receipts to the top of the box anyways?
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
hmm, were gamers actually were these Switch 2s gonna be playable anyways?
Hmm. Yeah.
Anyways, for the lurkers in chat, just wanted to shout out you lurkers. Um, so yeah, $1.4 million worth of Switches were stolen. Um, really interesting. Um, D brand effed up. They decided to just go and say, hey, um, you guys who ordered our product, um, y'all are holding it wrong.
Mm. They're the ones that made the kill switch,
The
was it,
Kill
right?
Switch 2 for the Nintendo Switch 2.
Mm.
Users reported that while holding the Nintendo Switch 2 by the Joy-Con controllers while using this case, Joy-Cons would detach more easily than when using the console without a case. Um, and I can tell you right now that those things just do not come off unless you're purposely pulling those triggers. Those things are sticking on.
Yeah.
Hmm. D Brand then responds and says it had a spectacularly terrible response to the Joy-Con grip complaints, saying that they were holding it wrong. They then said in the response, their second response. Hold on. More than one here. Let me say more than one commenter pointed out that D Brand's post echoed Steve Jobs and Apple's famous response to the iPhone 4, where there were antenna issues caused by a way that people would hold their phones.
Mm.
And this is D Brand's response on Reddit. Hey Reddit, it's us again. Today we are going to try out a new communication strategy where we say both fewer words and devote less of them to blaming you. Let's see if it works. First, let's condense the last update down to 2% of the original length. While holding the Nintendo Switch 2 in a specific way, detachment between the Joy-Cons and the remainder of console can occur. Some experience this issue, some do not. This discrepancy is due to a manufacturing tolerance issue on the retaining lip that keeps the Joy-Con grip attached to the Joy-Con. Anyone who suffers from the manufacturing tolerance issue can reach out and we'll get them better Joy-Con grips in July.
Mm.
One nuanced a point that got a bit lost in the prior update was that there is an alternative to the retaining lip. It has been tested and is already in the market with a few Switch 2 cases. It's adhesive. The problem with adhesive is that given enough time or the wrong kind of stress, it will ultimately fail. This failure would turn the problem from this Joy-Con detaches from the console to this Joy-Con and the rest of the console detached from the adhesive and fell out of the case.
That's not good.
As easy as it is to boil our original post down to you're holding it wrong, what we're sober to now is the point that you should be allowed to hold it however the you want without detainment occurring. Hold on, checking something. Yeah, okay. However, however the you want without detachment occurring. We get it. Please continue dunking on us for the next 6 to 8 months while reincarnating Steve Jobs. Rather than burying a proposed solution at the end of the post, we're going to get the new solutions out of the way early. These are truly new solutions that have been developed since our last post. Before even stating the solutions, let's state the good news. Everyone, whether or not you experience this issue, is getting a free replacement set of Joy-Con grips. Um,
It's good. Mm.
there's essentially go on to list two different designs. One that would keep everything secure, but everything would perform like a stock Nintendo stock 2, but it might not be actually feasible to mass produce. The other one is just grabbing one that is a similar production to their current offering with a even thinner retaining lip. And so they're essentially just they're trying different things, um, which may or may not have actual feasibility to mass produce. And you know what?
Mm.
I wish D-Brand luck on that. Because a lot of
Mm.
people were like, oh, these companies must have Switch 2s if they're already having products out in the wild. It's obvious from stuff like this and a bunch of other Switch 2 cases that are all adhesive, is essentially adhesiving the case and the Joy Cons to their stuff. That yeah, they just don't. They didn't have the official specs and official CAD drawings from Nintendo, and that what they had was fan or leaked CAD models, which is exactly what Genki is in a lawsuit right now with Nintendo for. Was Genki showing a mock-up, a 3D printed model at what was it, Computer Electronics Show, and Nintendo literally came to the show and shut them down. All right, I think that covers that. Um, I think that's it. I think that's good enough. Let's go into our top 10 rated NES games and OG Game Boy games as rated by the GVG fandom. So, you said you made a list of your top 10 NES games and OG Game Boy games.
Mhm.
All right. What do you think is number 10?
Uh, Let me see. I
Give me some.
initially made mine in no particular order, but I can go ahead and pick like. the one, I guess that would be the quote unquote weakest, or not weakest, but like the least. You get what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd say maybe Excite Bike.
Excite Bike. Okay. You chat. You were free to drop what you think it will be down below, but Hunter, unfortunately, you were wrong. It was Dragon Quest III.
Mm. Oh, we're guessing. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
As
All right,
as
I'm
voted
on
by
the
the
right page now.
GDG audience, the number 10 best game of all time for the NES was Dragon Quest III.
Mm.
All right, so Hunter, what do you think will be number 9?
Uh, number nine, I'd say. Hmm, I don't know if this one counts since it's also technically on the Game Boy, but Dr. Mario.
Sorry, did I say Game Boy or NES? Sorry.
Oh no, you said NES, but I have a couple on here that like are
Yeah.
like NES versions of like Game Boy games. Is that okay?
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm saying
Okay.
for number 9, so what do you think the number 9 best NES game of all time is?
I'd say Dr. Mario.
Ooh, right franchise. But
Oh,
unfortunately, it isn't a Dr. Mario game. At number 9, Super Mario Brothers 2 or Super Mario Brothers USA.
mm, I see.
This one's an interesting one because it was made by the what was it called? Doki Doki Panic in Japan.
That's it.
Yeah, it originally was unrelated, and then um, it was super interesting. Um, give me 1 second. Hold on. Sorry about that. My brothers were just delivering my food. Anyways, um, as I was saying, yeah, Mario Brothers USA is super interesting at the fact that it really wasn't a Mario Brothers game, but it was designed by the Mario Brothers team. Um, what is it, EPD1 or whatever it was back then?
Maybe.
Anyways, it was essentially supposed to be a game to split off or a non Mario title that was then adapted into a Mario title.
Hmm.
Because the original Super Mario Brothers 2, or Super as it's known here, Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels, was just too hard.
Hmm.
And I will be honest, I I completely agree. That has to be one of the best decisions Howard Lincoln of Nintendo of America ever made. Because
Definitely.
rather Super Mario Brothers 2, The Lost Levels, really was a case of it was the early case of just repeating the same game but harder. It kind of has that new Super Mario Brothers stigma to it, where it's like you just kept repeating the same art style, and so it felt very repetitive.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, so to have a Super Mario Brothers 2 game here, Um, and I will be honest, it's just more fun. It's just more fun of a game. I don't know if you've played um, Lost Levels in Mario 2 at any other time at any time, but I can tell you right now that I love playing Super Mario Brothers 2 compared to Super Mario Brothers the Lost Levels.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Give me one sec. I really am sorry about that, guys. Um, anyways, um, so after Super Mario Brothers USA, also a big innovation of Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers USA, um, is that it really it was the first to implement like multiple characters. It really was the the basis for a lot of the characterization on how every like character moves and feels. Peach with her float, Toad with the moving faster, but um, not having a good jump. Mario being the baseline, and then Luigi having a a higher jump being slippier.
Mm.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Super Mario Brothers USA?
Um, I think, like you said, it's definitely better than like the actual Super Mario Brothers 2. And also, like what you said, I feel like there's nothing wrong with like a really hard game, but I think Super Mario Brothers 2 was it was
It was the
it was
Kaizo
the
Mario before Kaizo Mario.
basically, yeah, like it was a not fun kind of hard.
Yeah. I think it was just a game that was not meant for the English audience, because a lot of the
Hmm.
Japanese players live for that sort of challenge. I mean, just
Hmm.
look at Japanese players on Mario Kart.
Yeah, and every other Nintendo game that you play past like 10 p.m.
Absolutely. Um, but yeah, great game. Do you think it deserves to be here at number 9 though
Um,
for NES?
hmm, honestly, I think they
You
put
think
it
that's a good
in an
spot
all
for it?
right spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Was that on your list? Was Super Mario Brothers USA on your list?
It actually wasn't, but I thought about it.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So, what do you think will be the number 8 NES game of all time?
Um, guess I'll go with hmm. How about Kirby's Adventure?
Hmm. Ah, it is a Nintendo franchise, but it is not Kirby. At number 8,
Oh,
Metroid.
hmm. You there? You still there?
Sorry about that, guys. All right, things are I think are finally handled. All right, so yeah, original Metroid. I'll be honest, I have very few memories with the Metroid franchise. I am a new Metroid fan. I only joined thanks to Metroid Dread and the
Hmm.
hype surrounding testing,
Can hear you on my
testing.
end pretty good.
Okay, testing. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I think my voice mod crashed. I think you guys can hear me now. I'm just double checking. Okay, now everything's working. Okay. All right. But yeah, I just don't have any attachment to the franchise due to just me just joining um on Metroid Dread. So, what are your thoughts on Metroid NES?
Um, think I've played a little bit of it, but not really that much to like have a full opinion on it.
Yeah, agreed. However, I will say though, this and its successor Super Metroid truly did start a revolution with Castlevania. It
Definitely.
launched its own um ideas. It became the Metroidvania style where you would just collect stuff. Um yeah. I'd say number 8 is good. I don't unfortunately with the NES, I just don't have a lot of experience with the NES unfortunately. But
Same
yeah,
here.
yeah. But now that I got a Switch 2, I'll be able to play a lot of these games on NES online and be reviewing them. So stay tuned for that, guys. All right. So, what do you think will be number 7?
Let me check my list again. Uh, I've got. How about speaking of Castlevania? How about Castlevania?
Uh, my friend, you were absolutely correct. It is Castlevania.
Oh wow.
Yup, number 7, the original Castlevania NES. Still don't have any attachment to this series, but it is still one of the biggest franchises on the original NES.
Mm.
And to be honest, this is the perfect place to put it. Metroid and Castlevania right there in 8 and 7.
Mm.
So what are we at now? We had number 10 was it Mario Brothers 2, right? I can't remember now.
Think so.
I have to double check everything now. Sorry. Oh, Dragon Quest 3. Yeah, Dragon Quest 3, then Super Mario Brothers 2, then Metroid, then Castlevania.
Mhm.
So, my question for you is, do you know what number 6 will be?
How about uh balloon fight?
Oh, Balloon Fight. Really? You think Balloon Fight will get this high up? Number 6? Because I will tell you
Honestly,
right
yeah.
now, it is not Balloon Fight. It is
Oh,
Super Mario Brothers the original.
oh.
I mean, come on, it's the original Super Mario Brothers. One of the best games on the NES to boot. Um, I'll be honest, I'm surprised this isn't higher.
Mm.
Just because it's the original Super Mario Brothers. It's what sold the NES.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, number 5. We're in the top 5 now. Slim pickings now. What do you think is going to be for number 5?
Uh,
We got a couple of
how
franchises in
about
here we have to think about. We got Mega Mans, we got Punch Outs, we got Duck Hunt still. We got a couple of still major franchises in here.
um should I still stick to the ones on my list or should
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
okay. Um how about Castlevania 3?
Castlevania 3. Mmm. I will tell you right now, it is not. It is Mega Man 2.
Mm.
Yeah, so Mega Man absolutely, honestly, at his peak in this era. He had like what
Yeah,
6 games on the NES. Like they had Mega Man has so many games on the NES,
yeah. There were a lot.
and they were
And they're
really
like
fantastic sets of skills. I would say Mega Man is the original Metroidvania
mm-hmm.
because you could go back and use the power ups from one to make another earlier. It has that same design philosophy. That's super cool. And yeah, so yeah, number 5, Mega Man 2. What do you think number 4 will be? We're still missing Kirby. We're still missing Punch Out. We're still missing um a couple. What do you think?
um let me see. How about the port of the Mario Brothers arcade game?
Oh, just Mario Brothers, not Super Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers, the arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting you chose that. To be honest, I did not know that this was an arcade game. I was not because I was not exposed to this because I had a Game Boy Advance. I was exposed to this to the Game Boy Advance ports of these games where it was um a little side mode on what was it, Super Mario Advanced.
Think so.
Yeah, those were fantastic. I love those. Um Unfortunately, it is not Mario Brothers. At number 4, Punch Out.
Mm.
Now, Punch Out. Oh man, Punch Out is fantastic. I, I to be honest, Punch Out really is one of those games that was truly ahead of its time. I would say truly not just ahead of not I wouldn't say ahead of its time, sorry. I would say I meant to say it encapsulates its time the best. Of that wacky, goofy experimental phase that Nintendo did when making their own games. Oh, we had too many
Definitely.
screens. Let's make a arcade game that makes two screens and ends up being fantastic. Um, yeah, I love Punch Out. I really like the 2D port to the NES, and it's great. Um,
Mm.
I really didn't like its sequel though. I didn't like Super Punch Out.
Yeah, I haven't. I've heard that one's kind of the weakest. Like it's still good, it's just not the best.
Yeah. All right. But now we are in the top 3.
Mm.
And I will say this. Now that we've done Punch Out, we could still have any of these other franchises in here. You could have another Mega Man on here. You could have Mario Brothers 3 in here. We haven't even talked Zelda yet. So my
Mm.
question to you is, what do you think is number 3?
Um, have I said Tetris yet?
It is not Tetris, for NES, my friend.
Mm.
Unfortunately, this is one you guessed earlier. This is Kirby's Adventure at number 3.
Oh, I see.
Kirby's Adventure. Yeah, this deserves to be in the top 3. That's a top 3, no doubt.
Hmm.
I'm so glad Kirby made it to top 3.
Yeah.
But what do you think will be number 2? We have Tetris. We have Zelda. We have Mario Brothers 3. We have Mega Man. What do you think will be at number 2?
Mm. Um, I kind of feel like I should have said some of these sooner because now they don't really reflect like my top 10 opinion. But RC Pro Am 2.
RC Pro M2. I've never played that game. Why don't you tell me about this one?
It was one of the it actually made by Rare, but it was one of the games that Rare made before they were like primarily worked under Nintendo. It was kind of one of
Hmm.
their own like independent projects.
Gotcha. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I am sorry to say, it is unfortunately not that. It
Mm.
is at number 2, Legend of Zelda.
Uh,
Yeah, no. I, uh, what else is there to say? It's the original Legend of Zelda.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So I think it's the original Legend of Zelda. You can't really beat it. Um,
Hmm.
I think you know what's number one according to the fans of the any according to the polls. So I'm gonna ask you, what is your number one before you make a guess at what everyone else thought was number one.
Uh, Number one, I would say Super Mario Brothers 3.
Number one, and at number one is Super Mario Brothers 3. I don't know why I did it like that. No, it's Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yes, I got
It
two
like
right.
um I will be honest. I actually prefer the original Mario Brothers to Mario Brothers 3. But that does not mean I don't respect the heck out of this game. This game truly was a great successor to the original Mario Brothers.
Mm.
When people talk about great sequels, they mean stuff like Mario Brothers 3. And I am so glad it made the top 10. Or it was here at number 1. So, do you have now that we've done that, my question to you is this: did you make your original Game Boy top 10?
I did.
Very good. All right. So let's jump right into that before we jump into any more topics. What do you, is your what do you think people will rate at number 10 as the greatest Game Boy game of all time?
So just the greatest one right off the bat.
Top 10 greatest.
Uh,
So what do you
Let me
think will be
see.
at number 10?
Oh, I see. Hmm. How about uh how about Kirby's Pinball Land?
All right, give me 1 second.
Okay.
What'd you put?
Kirby's Pinball Land.
Unfortunately, it is not. At number 10,
Hmm.
and this will probably determine how the rankings are for for Game Boy. At number 10, Metroid 2 Return of Samus.
Hmm.
Um Super interesting decision by Nintendo to put the sequel on their Game Boy. Um or so yeah. I think this one tends to get a bit overlooked. Especially compared to the next game in the series, which is Super Metroid, which everyone says is the best. Um, but Nintendo tends to really favor this one. Um, we've got this because they had Mercury Steam do the remaster on what was it, 3DS?
I think so.
Yeah, for Samus Returns.
Yeah.
So super interesting. Um, it's a Metroid game. I'm not involved in the series, so I can't speak to its quality. But it's Metroid. Of course, it's gonna be good.
Hmm.
So, what did you put as your number 9? I mean, your number 10.
Uh, my number 10 or my number 9?
Number 10, sorry.
Number 10.
What is your number 10 game?
Oh, okay.
What is your personal? Sorry.
Personal. Probably, I guess probably Kirby's Pinball Land.
Understandable. So, what do you think will is the number 9?
Um,
Number 9. 10. What do you think will be was voted? The number 10. Sorry, the number 9 best greatest original Game Boy game of all time.
let me see. I'd say maybe
What's your gut telling you? What
this one's kind
franchise are
of
you thinking?
weird. This one's kind of weird, but does the Game Boy camera count?
The Game Boy camera. Um, I'll have to get back to you on that. But no, it is not the Game Boy camera at number 9. I
Hmm.
can tell you that for certain. At
Yeah,
number
I didn't
10,
think it would be.
at number 10, you were right on the franchise earlier. It is Kirby's Dream Adventure.
Hmm.
Sorry, not Dream Adventure, Dreamland. Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy.
Hmm.
Um, it's just an addictive game. I'm. Everyone loves Kirby, and there's a reason, and that's because Sakurai is a genius, and we love we love Kirby games.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you think is at number 8? Or first, what was your personal 9 first?
Personal 9 was um I guess also probably the Game Boy camera. Yeah, when I was making mine, I made mine like in the order like that I also thought were my like personal like favorites. So pretty much
Gotcha,
all of these I think are just gonna be like the same ones that I guess.
gotcha. Anyways, let's go with the. Well, why don't we go with number 8 then? What is your guess for the number 8?
Mm. Uh, how about
I will tell you, it
the
is a Nintendo first party game.
okay. How about the Zelda Oracle games?
You, my friend, are absolutely correct. At number 8, Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons.
Yay.
So yeah, we didn't combine seasons and ages because they're so different in like quality and stuff. So yeah, they we did not combine Oracle of Seasons and Oracles of Ages. So at number at number 8, Oracle of Seasons.
Mm.
So what do you think about this Zelda game? What's your thoughts on this game?
I've only played a little bit of Seasons, I think, but I do remember enjoying it quite a bit.
Gotcha. Anyways, shall we move on? Let's move on to number 7. What do you think is number 7?
Uh, how about Donkey Kong?
My
I think it's
friend,
Donkey Kong 9093.
I'm actually going to give it to you for this one because you had lumped these two together. Number 7, Oracle of Ages.
Oh,
But let's but because of that, let's just go into number 6. What is your number 6? What do you think is number 6?
um, how about Link's Awakening?
My friend, you should have gone with your gut from last time.
Oh,
Number 6 is Donkey Kong 94.
dang it.
You were really good. You were really close. You
Mm,
talked yourself out of Donkey Kong.
mm,
But yeah, no, Donkey Kong 94 is super cool because it it continues where the original arcade game kind of left off and becomes a full puzzle game.
mhm,
In and really does and really started the Mario versus Donkey Kong series. That Mario versus Donkey Kong series has huge um inspiration from Donkey Kong 94.
mhm.
All right, Hunter, what is number 5? And I will tell you right
Mm.
now, this is controversial.
Um, how about
You will I will tell you right now, you will not guess this.
how about Kirby's Dream Land 2?
No. My friend,
Mm.
this is criminal. But at number 5, Tetris.
Tetra.
The game that sold Game Boys to everyone was relegated to number 5.
Mm.
I'm sorry, but this was my number 1. I am I was speechless when I saw that result. But yeah, Tetris at number 5. Um it What else there's there to say? It's Tetris. It's the game that sold the Game Boy. There's a huge movie about the backstory of it. There's a whole bunch of documentaries about Tetris and how that was sold to Nintendo, with all the legal loopholes and had to be done. Because it's Tetris. It's the game for everyone.
Hmm.
So my question to you is this: what do you think will number four be? With
Um,
that sort of upset in things going upside down in the world.
hmm,
Yeah, no, I don't care what politics is going on right now. The thing that broke the universe, Tetris at number five.
hmm,
I'm like, I call de- I call hacks. I call hacks. I call.
hmm.
Yeah, nah. I'm the fact that it's at number five. I am just. It's crazy.
uh, how about how about the Game and Watch Gallery games?
Game and Watch gallery games. Mmm. A great choice, and honestly, I love it. Unfortunately, it is not correct. At number
Mm.
four, Super Mario Land 2, The Golden Coins. This is honestly still an amazing Mario game.
Yeah, I it is pretty good.
Like the fact that they got the SNES sprite work on an original Game Boy. Like comparing like Super Mario Land 1 and Super Mario Land 2 is like comparing really is like comparing Atari to the Super Nintendo.
Mm.
It's legit insane. Anyways, that was number 4. So we are coming into the top 3. What do you think is number 3?
Um, how about Pokemon Silver?
Mmm. Going for the Pokemon games already, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say this. You're in the right franchise. At number 3 is the original G1 Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Mm.
This was also one that I was like, I swear would have been number 1 as well. Because the Game Boy sold, the original Game Boy was sold by Tetris. And it was kept alive another like 5 to 8 years because of Pokemon. The
Mm.
original Game Boy would not die because of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an interesting. It's really interesting seeing that. Um, hold on. Something's going weird. There we go. Anyways, yeah, sorry. What do you think is number two?
Um,
I will say this is one you've mentioned.
is it Dr. Mario?
At number two, unfortunately, it is not Dr. Mario.
Hmm.
Link's Awakening.
Oh,
And a fantastic Zelda game. A lot of people say that this was their true Zelda sequel after, um, instead of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
hmm.
So yeah, it's it's super interesting to see that Link's Awakening above Pokemon. That's super
Yeah.
crazy. It might be because so many Pokemon games recently have soured the franchise for others, but those original games, Pokemon games, you can't say really negative things about them because they're fantastic. Not to say you can't say things positive about Link's Awakening. I'm just saying is that Pokemon has gotten a recent negative sourness to it, whereas Link Awakening never had any sort of that stigma.
Hmm.
Anyways, what do you think is at number one?
Um, hmm. If I had to take a guess, it would maybe be.
I will say this is also one that you've mentioned before. And no, it is not Dr. Mario.
Dang it. Um,
My question to you is
I
this:
don't think
what could beat out Pokemon Gen 1?
Pokemon Silver again.
And that's the thing, Pokemon Gen 2 at number
Yay.
1. We've got Pokemon at number 1 is Pokemon um Silver, Pokemon Gold, and Pokemon Crystal. Come on, we all knew it had to be a Pokemon game right there at the top.
Hmm.
The only thing that could have beaten Pokemon was Tetris.
Hmm.
Anyways, that is the top 10 Game Boy games.
Hmm.
You want to take a quick 5 minute break before we catch back onto some of these topics?
Uh,
Quick 5 minute break?
yeah, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. We can speed run some of these topics when we get back. But I wanted to make sure everyone take 5, guys. We will be right back.
Okay, see you in 5.
See you in 5. And we are back. So, just double checking that everything's going good. Perfect. Alright, so next up, let's talk about the cancellations. Microsoft announced mass layoffs on July 2nd, impacting many areas of the company's sprawling business, including and especially Xbox. Overall, Microsoft is said to be cutting 4% of its staff worldwide, affecting about 9,000 people. Microsoft is an enormous company, but that employs more than 200,000 people globally. The number of cuts at Xbox is unknown, but Microsoft has confirmed layoffs at multiple studios, as well as some publishing deals. There is multiple confirmed layoffs at multiple studios, game cancellations, and entire game studio closures. Give us a second. We will go into more detail about all of these. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer sent a memo to staff today addressing the cuts, claiming the job losses were necessary to allow for the enduring success of Xbox. We will end or decrease work in certain areas of the business and follow Microsoft's lead in removing layers of management to increase agility and effectiveness. Spencer also addressed the fact that the cutbacks are coming at a time when business is booming for Xbox. I recognize that these changes come at a time when we may have more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before. Our platform, hardware, and game roadmap have never looked stronger. The success of Xbox today is the result of tough decisions Microsoft made previously, Spencer said. We must make choices now for continued success in future years, and a key part of that strategy is the discipline to prioritize the strongest opportunities. Microsoft's stock price slid slightly after the layoff news was announced, but the price has still been trending upwards in the past 5 years and currently stands at a still near record high. Microsoft is currently the number 2 most valuable company, only behind by Nvidia. Now, let's go over these. Raven Software. Raven Software, an esteemed Call of Duty development studio, is said to have been affected by the cuts. The studio co-developed 2024's Black Ops 6 and returns to co-develop 2025's Black Ops 7. Raven is also known for its work on Call of Duty Warzone. Oh, see, already, even Call of Duty is not immune to this. That tells you something right there. If Call of Duty studios will get cuts, yeah, in my opinion, that just says no, there's no such thing as job security. Next
Yeah.
up, 10 Turn Studios. Forza Motorsport developer Turn 10 Studios was reportedly hit significantly by the Xbox cuts. A report said that nearly 50% of staff were let go, although it's not clear how many people this amounts to. The studio's last release was 2023's Forza Motorsport for PC and Xbox Series X and S. British developer Rare was affected by the layoffs too, with the studio's upcoming game that has been in the works for nearly a decade, Everwild, being cancelled. The game was announced in 2019 and had been in development for reportedly 10 years before this decision came down. Anonymous developer speaking to Video VGC said that Rare couldn't find the right direction for this project, even after it was rebooted. A new MMO RPG from the Elder Scrolls Online developers ZeniMax Online Studios, reportedly codenamed Blackbird, was said to also be canceled. It had been reportedly in development in some form since 2018. Long-term executive Matt Furore is also leaving the company. Notice something. A lot of these games are games that have been in development since pre-COVID. Have you noticed that? These are all games that have been just in complete development hell. One
I
of
think I have
Microsoft's new
noticed it.
one of Microsoft's newest studios, The Initiative, which was a studio created with the explicit purpose with making quad A games. We all made fun of the, like, what was it, Sea of Thieves or one other game that was supposed to be a quad A game.
Oh, these.
Microsoft's newest studios, The Initiative, which was said was this, is closing up shop, and its first game, a new Perfect Dark remake, has been canceled. Or a report from 2024 said this game was in rough shape. High Moon, longtime Call of Duty co-developer High Moon Studios, has also been affected by the Xbox cuts, according to Charlie Intel. The studio has for years supported Call of Duty Warzone and other Call of Duty projects. High Moon Studios, I think, has pretty much been a support studio for the franchise for a while, but still. Other Call of Duty co-developer Sledgehammer Games has faced layoffs. Blizzard has announced that Warcraft Rumble support will not continue in its current form. While systemic events and bug fixes can still be made, no new content will be added. Aftermath reports that some Blizzard employees will shift to different roles, while others will be let go. An exact figure has not been confirmed, but it's said to be as many as 100 people. And even worse, the wide-ranging Xbox layoffs this week has also affected the development team formerly known as 343 Industries, Halo Studios, that is working on multiple upcoming Halo titles. And even worse, Romero Games, the studio head up by John and Brenda Romero, as in the makers of Quake and Doom fame, has announced that an unspecified publisher has canceled funding for its new game, and it's believed to be Microsoft. In a post, Brenda Romero said, "Our publisher has canceled funding for our game along with several other unannounced projects at other studios." She said, "This was a strategic decision made at high level with the publisher, well above our visibility or control." An affected staffer at Romero Games said outright on social media that, "Unfortunately, due to recent Xbox layoffs, I lost my position at Romero Games." This is terrifying. This is just downright terrifying. Yeah, I'm I'm scared what this will mean for the future, considering how many studios Xbox has. Because this seems
Yeah.
just like a giant purge. Um, one more. I'm gonna do. Let's do two more Microsoft stuff, and then we'll call it a night.
Okay.
Um, Microsoft is adding Steam. Xbox is forging ahead with new integration app plans on PC, bringing in games purchased through other storefronts, including Epic Games and Steam, into your Xbox catalog.
I feel
Currently,
like
this
this.
function. Yes. So
Sorry, go ahead.
this functionality has also has landed on PC within the Xbox PC app, currently available to Xbox insiders, who will test out the feature before it rolls out to everyone. This new version of the Xbox PC app will be available to all later this year and will appear on Xbox 11 and will appear on Windows 11 and handheld devices. This is weird. This is so weird because Xbox was really trying to push Steam out the door back on Windows. What was it? 7 and 8. Or at least Steam was fearful of it because at that time Windows introduced their own what was it, Windows Store. Yeah, they introduced the Microsoft Store to buy games and stuff. So Steam made all of their stuff to make sure they weren't being forced out, kind of like what Apple did with third-party app stores and pushed them out off the iPhone. So it's super interesting to see. And then Steam was just so much better than Microsoft, so nobody used Microsoft because um well, nobody liked Windows 8 8 at the time. So it's super weird to see Xbox stuff and Steam stuff all congregating together. Um, Microsoft has noted that with the aggregated gaming library, players can conveniently launch games from Xbox, Game Pass, Battle.net, and other leading PC storefronts. So it's going to be super weird. I am interested and confused.
Yeah, seems interesting.
I'm just confused about how the monetization is going to work because it's like, Steam has its 30% marketplace fee, but if you buy that and then play it on Microsoft, how does that work?
Yeah.
Will Microsoft get a 30% of that, or how does that work? Speaking of Steam is exposing fake frames. In the new in-game overlay, Steam can detect these trickeries that GPU makers are using the software and stuff to detect DLSS or FSR frame generation, and reports the fake frames and the native frame rates in in the bar for reporting stuff. I just think this is cool because it allows us to see what stuff. It just allows us to see how our games are running on PC.
Yeah.
And last thing, Hightail. Hightail canceled. In June of 2025, Hightail sent out on June 23rd, 2025. Excuse me. An update was put out saying this. Um that the Hightail team was ending development and beginning the process of winding down the studio. After Riot Games had bought the studio, they were trying to continually push continual development on this game. Um, but unfortunately, it just wasn't possible. The problem really was is that, according to a lot of reports, is that um, this was made as a passion project, and then the feature creep came in, and then so to do that, they brought in new developers, and then new developers said, "You don't know what you're doing. We need to um, completely redo everything." So they did an entire new engine for the game, and that's years in the making. That's years gone right there.
It's really unfortunate.
It really is. However, really interesting things have come out. Multiple of the OG's founders, or specific, I would say the original Hightail founder, confirms he is reaching out to Riot Games about buying it back from them and gonna try and do the stuff with the original engine that he was working on. Um, he, the founder Simon, um, has said he has 25 million in the bank and he's willing to use that for a buyback. And not only that, the Stardew Valley creator is also interested about saving Hightail as well. They have both said that this is a very, very slim chance. But rather, it's better to have a little bit of sliver of hope than one. He said, "Yes, I made the decision. I will give my best to save Hightail, even if it's a 1% chance. It's the least I could do to the same community that gave me the opportunity to be where I am today." The Hightail founder recently toyed the idea of dropping 25 million to get the blocky adventure game back on track, but now he clarifies it would require a lot less money to get something that could be released in very early access with temporarily removed features. He also said we could just get the community involved ASAP in modding, bug reports, feature requests, crowdfunding, and find ways to use shared source and open source with cash bounties to speed up production and keep team relatively small. This is what they should have done at the beginning. But unfortunately, the team that was originally there before Simon left, to keep continually working on the Hypixel servers, while his friends ran Hightail Studios. Um, he said that it was only like a year or two away from fully development. But that um but yeah, because of the feature creep and stuff, they kept pushing everything back and they didn't want to release the game in any sort of state that's not finished, which I would completely understand if it wasn't this sort of game where people understood when they're getting a beta. Like Minecraft, which is a lot of what this fan base is fans of Minecraft, is people who played various versions, especially the betas of the original Minecraft. So they would be forgiving of buggy betas or even alphas, you know?
Mhm.
What was your thoughts on this?
I think it's good that the game could still potentially be saved.
Yeah. Another one of the things I forgot to mention is the fact that one of the creature things was them wanting to bring it to all platforms immediately. And he's like, no, for now it is strictly PC,
Mm.
which makes sense. I'm super interested in where this goes, and I really, really hope that something good comes out of it. Anyways, I think that kind of wraps it up. What do you think?
Um, yeah, I think this is a good stopping point.
Everyone, have a fantastic day. Oh, that's what's going on. My VTube studio crashed. That's why I'm stuck in
Oh,
this pose.
hmm.
Look at my screen. Look at the stream if you can. Look at my pose.
Here, let me check real quick.
I've been stuck like this for who knows how long.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you everyone for listening. Have a fantastic day. Uh, for all y'all on YouTube, have a wonderful day. See ya.
Bye, everyone.
Okay. Let me find Twitch real quick.